Welcome to a special event. Yours truly, Adrian, Dragan, androgynous pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess, and the Dragan Empire, whose missions, vision, and philosophies are for world peace, international justice, and global freedom. It is 7:18 p.m. EST in Hokkaido, Montreal. Yours truly, Adrian, Dragan, has fighting a little bit of some flu symptoms, sore throat, some coughing, a little bit of a runny nose. I'm gonna be fighting it with some tea. I'm gonna actually put the water now to heat, and we're gonna do a mind, body, and spirit vigil while drinking some tea for world peace, international justice, and global and securing global freedom and attaining harmony between civilization and nature by the complementary cooperative covenant institutions which yours truly, Dragan, is calling all to join to support in any capacity they can. The Dancing Goddess Army, officially titled the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, in order to organize mass dancing events across the world for the mass financing of solar, hydro, and electric power, in complementary covenant cooperative with the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragan Army, in order to secure food, housing, and transport, the three essential elements of civilization, the aforementioned food, housing, and transport for all via public-private partnership, and the creation of a global central bank issuing a universal unit of exchange, preferably by biometrics, the hand, the voice, and the eye being unique biometric identifiers by each and every individual possesses unique, the three aforementioned eyes, voice, and of course the hand, unique biometric identifiers, which of course by Mother Nature, the greatest artist, has made it so in a mysterious manner. Do not have all the answers, do not have more questions than answers, and my trinity of beliefs surrounding the coronavirus, COVID, health and financial crisis has been, is, and will be this. First and foremost, do not know what has caused COVID. Second, believe it was transmitted from snakes to human beings. And third, since do not know for sure, cannot rule out another possibility. That is yours truly, Eternal Dragon's Trinity on COVID. Fourth dimension to that trinity of not knowing, believing it was snakes, and since there's a doubt, cannot confirm, and thus cannot rule out another possibility. What do know 100% without any doubt is that before COVID, yours truly is a world peace advocate, independent student, scholar of history, wars, geopolitics, and civilization had taken into consideration what had transpired geopolitically, especially the US-China trade war began by the Trump administration, the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, aka Cathy Meng, by the RCMP in order to honor an extradition treaty with the United States, coupled with the arrest of Michael Spavor and Michael Covert, the two Canadian nationals who were 3 weeks ago released in an unadmitted quid pro quo exchange, and that yours truly in October 17 had held the first session of the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout, designed, made, and created to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario, which yours truly had developed, created, and made, as was saying after my analysis, that we humanity, Canada, United States, North American civilization, Western civilization, and global humanity as a whole, that we are on a path to World War III, and so created the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, which had a World War III scenario, which in a nearly paradoxical, providential, and parallel resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crisis, resembled by the approximation that in my scenario, what causes World War III is a global stock market crash, which causes a global financial collapse, which due to COVID, of course, the global financial crisis occurred and started February 20th, 2020, which triggered the global stock market crash beginning February 20th, 2020, which triggered the worst financial crisis and the Great Recession, worse than more than 70 years since the Great Depression of the 1929, which lasted more than 11 years, and throughout the Second World War. So in more than 70 years, the worst economic, commercial, and financial crisis the world has ever seen. In my scenario, what triggers World War III is, of course, the stock market crash and global financial collapse, blamed on the U.S. Trump administration's imposition of tariffs on more than $665 billion of different percentages of tariffs of 10, 15, 25, 20, 30% on more than 665 billion worth of goods. The US-China trade war is what triggers World War III in my scenario. Due to COVID, the stock market began crashing. The stock market crash that occurred started on February 20th, 2020 and ended April 7th, which is ongoing, and now I have observed and are warned that food prices have increased. And of course, last week I put a video when I went to my marching dance general war integrated total body training system, and with $10, a couple more of those affordable, cheapest on the market, least expensive on the market noodle bags. I'm not sure the ones, since there's no description on the label, but half of them I got about, I think 77 or 93 noodle bags. Gonna do the count next week, as I'm gonna purify, clean, and reorder my room off Sun Temple before Halloween. I'm gonna make a count of the food, the noodle bags, just in case, in parallel with yours truly living the worst financial crisis of my adult life, paradoxically getting in the fittest, strongest, most athletic condition of my adult life, with investing in my body by working out, training, and exercising, which words do. I'm gonna do now with the mind, body, and spirit. This bottle of water here, this big bottle of water. See, it is. See, it's water up to here, so it's full. So it's about 42 pounds. With them, maybe even more. With that, I'm gonna have a cup of tea. Special ongoing session of the I Declare Revolution series for world peace, international justice, global security. I got this tea flowers, which are you see product. They're actually product of Egypt. Reminds me of a past life when harvested grapes, fruits, and vegetables by the Nile and fed was a servant to the priestesses of the goddess. As yours truly, Adrian Dragan, is the servant to all my allies and armies in any capacity whatsoever that can serve, can bring joy, and lead by working out, training, exercising, massaging, washing, kissing, whatever the service can be done. Yours truly at the service, Adrian Dragan, but for the general mission, vision, and philosophy of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Empire. With the mind, spirit, and body meditation, I'm gonna have a tea. Tea flowers. From Egypt, and we're gonna do some reading. So I put the tea, some tea leaves into this, and I'm gonna put it in there. The water is. Thank you to my friend, oftentimes teacher, the one I love and call sister, who to that Trinity of friend, sister, and teacher has been my fourth dimension, adding to that Trinity, being my one and only financial sponsor at the moment, getting me these are the best pair of leggings that I've ever had. I love the black and gold mix. She gave me these leggings during COVID, and this hoodie, green hoodie, which it's got a hoodie, this, and I believe also this Trinity of garments. This, she gifted me this, and the leggings which I just showed, them one of the best leggings, if not the best, that yours truly, Adrian Dragan, ever had. Pour some water in the tea, and I'm gonna keep water for seconds. Let the tea. Gotta say a meditative blessing as the motto of the dancing goddess army is all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her bird, the sun, which our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest for us to build, maintain, or upgrade civilization. Even this tea, of course, to help me in the meditative reading and bring some joy and some, perhaps relieve my throat soreness and this little flu that I have since last night. I am vaccinated twice with Pfizer. Of course, willing to get the third jab as soon as it is available. Recommend everybody get tested. I do strongly encourage good hygiene practices in public. when you go out in a public office. Do not forget, you're going to get groceries, go in the bank. I noticed with the lax, the case is going down, but you know, they went up and down, up and down. We got to do our duty. I noticed a lot of people going to the bank to get the teller at the ATM in neglect. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt that they have their own in their car or whatever, but please, it is important. We touch, people's hygiene differs. We might neglect, forget, or a washroom, XYZ. We touch things, money especially. Hygiene is important. When you go in public, you go in a public building, a bank, a grocery store, whatever it is, wash, 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 rub, 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 R-U-B, wash those hands with me. Of course, to attain harmony and balance and equilibrium between the private and the public. I share a lot of my private, but when yours truly, Adrian, Dragan, Rainbow Dragon Citizen, steps outside, now if I will, I can turn this video off, close the blinds, turn the lights off, and get naked. Just dance and do this. Keep on kissing and loving in the free world. Freedom is a double-edged sword with yours truly having tiny hands, tiny feet, and tiny clit dig. Now you know my secret. Only thing I got is this big mouth. It's too heavy for me to lift by my solo, perhaps if my friend, oftentimes teacher, the one I love and call sister, helps. It's two-edged and it's very heavy on each side. And we gotta admit our own natures and our own struggles and our own hidden fears and lusts and things that we sometimes let grow crooked in the dark and we don't admit, whether psychological ills or emotional or ailings or feelings, whatever it is, right? Sometimes it's best to talk and discussing about it and to find a resolution. For me, working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will be medicine and therapy of choice. I am calling on the mass financing, especially for my brothers and sisters who since 1984 in the NFL, National Football League, NBA, National Basketball Association, NHL, National Hockey League, MLB, Major League Baseball, NBA, European Soccer have been making, and I'm going to say patriarchal sports leagues, because there's not even one women's sports league who makes even close to the financials that these aforementioned patriarchal sports leagues makes, that they make. How they gonna dance with the dancing goddess army for the Mother Nature, the greatest artist, and join me in the willingly loving a mission to attain harmony between civilization and nature, equilibrium between the private and the public, and secure and ensure freedom by securing and ensuring the three elements of civilization by creating the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragon Army, just like envisioned in my scenario, by refusing all debt, all the private and the public debt, as I've written the theory, many years of struggle, suffering, and pain, where the libraries of the city of Montreal became the second home of yours truly, Adrian, each Dragonborn who died during COVID. And I've written thousands of pages of theory, poetry, and financial, social, political theories to put into practice, such as debt refusing all private and public debt, taking that number, creating the global central bank by biometrics, and financing the two complementary cooperative covenant institutions of the dancing goddess army in order to attain harmony and maintain afterwards harmony between civilization and nature, and the pleasure of the body is a temple for both pleasure and purpose, to work out, to train, to volunteer, to do community work, to bring joy to somebody else, and to do all the things we do in building, maintaining, or upgrading civilization and the Dragon Army in order to secure food, housing, and transport. The motto of the Dragon Army, of course, being no one, nobody is born a dragon, not even yours truly with a surname Dragon. The blood, sweat, and tears, and thousands of push-ups, thousands of hawks, thousands of squats, millions of marching steps in steel-toe boots or in running shoes that my friend teacher, oftentimes teacher, the one I love and call sister, gifted me, or barefoot in my room, office, and temple. And thousands of push-ups, squats, hawks, and blood, sweat, and tears to turn the A in my surname into an O, as yours truly with every breath, every push-up, every squat, every dance, every art that I do, every tea that I drink, coffee that I drink, food that I eat, sun ray that hits my body, moonlight that I see, star that I count, breath of the goddess's hairs, which are just the big majestic trees. And I go outside, now they're turning reddish and orangey from a green, but of course it's winter approaching here. It's autumn, somewhere is spring on the southern hemisphere, of course. The mysterious, majestic beauty of the dancing goddess who dances with the bird of the sun that produces and creates all fruits, vegetables, and legumes, such as this tea was made, created, and produced in Egypt by the dance of the goddess who the brother the sun, and harvested by one of my brothers and sisters, as all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are in her. The leaders of the free world, the politicians, parliamentarians, senators, House of Representatives, need go kiss the hands and wash the feet and give them a massage and a good hug. The farmers, local in Quebec or Canada, North America, or throughout North America and the world for that matter, for them that although I have some experience in this life, in many lives was a farmer by the Nile, by the Danube, by the Ganges. In many lives in this life, I realize how fucking useless what all skills, all knowledge, poetry, and dance can be, and how interdependent we are, and my theory how timely it is developed during many years of struggle of need for integration in the 21st century and democratic fusion, and the universal revolutionary centrism which yours truly is and embodies in the dancing goddess and the dragon empires and the Phoenix People's Party, the anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-universal love party, pro-peace party, of course, anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love party, universal revolutionary center that is not fascism, not communism, but the 21st century need, private and public partnership, and democratic fusion, and all the private and the public to secure food, housing, and transport as will be ready by the Dragon army on the ground to secure food, housing, and transport, and be ready next generations for the next pandemic, and attain world peace and channel the aggressions, individual and collective, and the violence, individual and collective, to channel it by encouraging people to work out, to train, to do community work, to do push-ups, to do squats, to do hawks, to run a little bit, in nature or in gyms and gymnasiums, which yours truly had consecrated quite a few with rocks and cement in the urban jungle, on the mountains or on the forest, but the attaining harmony between civilization and nature, dragon gyms, which you see me working out, training with tree logs, with rocks, natural raw rocks, or with man-made concrete, or in the urban jungle, or of course on the mountains. On Mount Royal, one of the three peaks of the mountains of Hawk Island, formerly known as Montreal, Mount Royal, Westmount, Routermont, three peaks forming the mountain system of the center of the Hawk Island, Montreal. This tea was also made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with the brother and son, by one of my brothers and sisters, farmers, harvested, and invite all willingly loving, local, national, and international. Join yours truly, Nana Dragon, in the quest for world peace, international justice, and global freedom by securing the three elements of civilization and, of course, implementing and creating Dragon Army, officially the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragon Army, just like envisioned in my scenario, which of course had the destruction and the devastation, financial, economic, social devastation in my scenario. And my scenario began in parallel timeline with my first session, which was performed October 17, 2019. I have proof because I've documented my fitness journey, my philosophies, and my theories online, and my creativity and as an independent artist, athlete, and activist in the past years. As yours truly, Adrian H. Dragan, who died during COVID, had COVID, into January until about February 20th or so. It was very sickle and disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. So I urge everybody to take it seriously, get vaccinated, get tested. And join and support the mission, vision, and philosophy for world peace, for a new world order where we ensure and secure freedom by securing the elements which are essential for civilization, maintaining, building, or upgrading civilization: food, housing, and transport. Have the ideas and the general theories ready, and of course transport with XYZ allocated standard for XYZ individuals of different ages per day, per week, bi-weekly, monthly, to be able to travel and to apply my integration in democratic fusion integration theories into action, into practice, basically to encourage people to volunteer, whether to crisscross the urban and the rural, in order to go learn about how recycling, for example, is done. Right, when we put that recycling on once a week, where does it go? Those machines, big machines, come and pick it up, and we can do it with the children, with the youth, and make it fun. I have really creative ideas. I'm writing children's books, as usually is also an independent artist. One of my best volunteering experiences has been reading to children. Actually, I love their creativity and put some theory into practice, of which not only of my own creation and development, but also of development such as the book called by Maria Montessori, The Absorbent Mind, and of course to provide joy for them, the best intonation, articulation, and explanation as much as can. And I'm glad that if I can be of service to make them understand an English word or learn a new word or make them pronounce it or play with it, mispronounce it in a playful way with creativity, not foster. I love doing it, and they have been my greatest teachers. Children, which I do love a lot. Don't have any children of my own, but don't have a lot of family, and paradoxically, my little memories from childhood, adolescence, and early adulthood is hit by a black sword on the head years and years ago. And paradoxically, again, I've through developed acquired savant syndrome and learning new skills, new languages, a little bit of Russian, a little bit of Chinese, a little bit of Hebrew along the way, and developing new skills. And in a parallel life, science, innovation, and technology would have been my chosen path, albeit diverged towards the psychological, the artistic, the spiritual, the physical, the emotional, the irrational, the subconscious, the sexual, and the theoretical, rather than the more logical and abstract and mathematic. Although they can be, and in my Dancing Goddess and Dragon army, they work hand in hand together, complementary, covenant, and cooperative. And 2 plus 2 equals 4, but a 2 can be green and another 2 can be red, and the 4 can be rainbow. A 2 can be red and the other 2 can be green, and the 4 can be written in rainbow. A 2 can be written in red and the other plus, and the plus in black and the other 2 in green, and the equal can be in purple and the 4 can be in rainbow. And we can have 2 plus 2 equals 4, but we can have them not just in black or white or gray. We can have different colors, 2 plus 2 and 2, so that we make it a rainbow. As your story world, bisexual, androgynous, pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, it has not been sexual liberation personally for me, without blood, sweat, and tears. Personally, in the past years, and I was depressed, suicidal. I struggled a lot, and because I was bisexual. 13.3 years hit it. It's only 7 years ago. 7 years ago this Halloween, it was going to be 7 years mark when I'm in the open about being bisexual and pansexual, androgynous, being that I am both male and female, androgynous, and my own spiritual teachings, that in past lives we were, as a universal spiritual teaching student, because I'm learning things every day. Mother Nature, the greatest artist, hints and hints, and I discover a little piece of dust, of which I am a piece of dust. It's in that city of the pyramids, yours truly, as is the goddess that dances with the birth of the sun, the universal spiritual teaching student. I'm learning things every day, and in the past lives was man, was woman, and different relationships. Anybody willingly loving to be my family, allies, army supporters, citizens, subjects of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, which is non-sectarian and for world peace. Besides my friend, who's oftentimes been a teacher these past years, who's I love and call sister, which she has been my only family for many years now, and everybody else willingly loving to be my family and to support the mission and the general mission. And I adopt you as my children. I'll let the children play, and I want your joy and your happiness and your health. And as we move towards a new world order of world peace, international justice, and global freedom, securing global freedom will be the general mission of the Dragon Army, of which the motto is nobody is born a dragon. You become one, and you gotta admit a lot of things and the struggles and pains. And the main mission is to secure the 3 elements for all: citizens, allies, supporters, subjects of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, food, housing, and transport. Once we have those 3 elements secured, we can encourage people to exercise, to volunteer, to work out, to train, to dance, and socially reward them. As envision a social credit system, and to make it easy to navigate, to go in different housing complexes for XYZ reasons, of course, to not be abusive, to be standards. And vision, of course, a lot of web cameras everywhere, webcams, and cams, and so that we have accountability, and of course, the doing and general accountability. And in the streets, which is the public domain of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Empire, to encourage people to work out, to train, to volunteer. I want to see a lot of dancing, of course, during the Sabbath, 37 hours. 49 minutes, 42, almost 38, almost 38 hour Sabbath, which begins Friday at midnight in Harkine and it ends, of course, Sunday. Of this rejuvenation, pleasure, and recreation of the youth, especially, not only, and of course, to channel the aggressions and the bottle up emotions and energies for pleasure and for purpose, a psychological, physical purpose, and with hygiene and with recreational drug use, and to allow people, of course, if they don't get along too well, to be able to move with the housing complexes and the buildings and the houses, to be able to relatively move easy on a bi-weekly, monthly basis, on a weekly basis, and go travel and integrate and volunteer and learn about how compost is done, how recycling, how the big urban systems work and operate, and the workers' integration with as less bureaucracy as possible in a democratic fusion way, to allow the democratic fusion and the universal revolutionary centrism, which is, of course, the dancing goddess and the Dragon Empire and the Phoenix People's Parties, social, political, financial theory, universal, and that is global perspective, universal. It has to be international in scope, worldwide. It has not to go back to sectarianism or adequate nationalism as we have, but to have free race, new free race, of course. I'm not perfect, far from it. I got issues, vices, I've been through blood, sweat, and tears. I do not pretend I am without fault or vice or lust, or I'm perhaps guilty in speech or in matter. Sometimes I'm very philosophical and spiritual and meditate with sophisticated language. Sometimes can be very seemingly crude and rude, but I think that sometimes it's best to be direct and straightforward. And like right now, I can't afford a fucking massage therapist. I'm living the fucking worst financial fucking crisis of my fucking life, but my fucking rent is paid until October 31st. I got fucking food to survive for the next day, so y'all in trouble, because I'm gonna keep doing these fucking videos, posting, doing art, underground rapping, loving, going kisses and blessing my name, Adrian, dragging my allies and armies to the rescue, my holy, sacred, and divine name. Shh. Out of your mouth if it's not full blessing. I'm not without a little bit of selfishness. I've been to low states to we've analyzed and dissected own psychological, emotional attributes of which differ with our nature, although we have collective, universal, global perspectives since the internet and telecommunications have blocked the global village. Together we have individual inclinations and of course that we have experience with our lives, or bad or good or somewhere in between, neutral, rainbow, purple, black, white, gray, and nuances, and even past lives. I'm a universal spiritual teaching student because I'm learning things every day, but I'm not without fault. I'm not without. I get pissed off. I got pissed off a month ago. Very pissed off that one that I didn't get. I can't afford a massage therapy. Then analyzing now, why am I so upset? Well, because I wish I had $100 to spend, which I don't. I'm $10,000 in debt, which constitutes my private debt. If I'm X1, you're X2, and there's hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions of X's, of which part of my debt refusion, taking all that debt, public and private. If public is Y1 is Canada, Y2 United States, Y3 Germany, Y4 Israel, and taking all that debt, refusing it, whatever the number of all private, including my almost 10,000, it's 9,990, 9,900, and so let's say 10,000, round it up to 10,000 because it's like $77, $61 or $37, something like that. I gotta double check, but it's close to 10,000. Let's round it up. If I'm 10,000, yours is 5,000, somebody else is 25,000. Taking all that debt, refusing it by taking the number, whatever it is, and with that initial number, creating this global central bank to issue universal unit of exchange by biometrics. The hand, the voice, and the eyes are unique biometric identifiers, right? Concording is that to finance the two complementary cooperative institutions, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragon Army, in order to general mission to secure and ensure freedom for all citizens, subjects, and allies, and encourage people to observe and to encourage people to, in public, the hygiene, and if somebody else, a citizen, an ally, supporter, wills to distance themselves for XYZ reasons, is XYZ psychological, scientific, social, spiritual, wants to stay 2 meters away, then to have that capability to stay 2 meters away if that is the case. Like the Dragan Army, secure food, housing, and transport, integrate Dragan Army to integrate with all existing public and private security forces, and to have general mission to secure and ensure freedom by securing food, housing, and transport for all in the system, simple, effective, and efficient. Then going out to be able to move to another housing and to reward, socially reward credit system by having integration with the scientific, with all social media, with of course Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, social credit system points, whatever it is for working out, half an hour working out, doing the general war, integrated total body training system, which of course is required for anybody willingly living to be a member of the Dragan Army. Of course, these are the rules, simple, effective, and efficient, which are required of everybody, including existing service members. If you just started today, October 19th, as a cadet, or your high-ranking or medium-ranking lieutenant, colonel, whatever it is, general, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4, 5, 6. No, sixes, but only two, I think, in U.S. history for that matter. Was an American twice in past life. 156 years ago, 718 miles that way, which is south, served in the U.S. Army. And yours truly, world peace advocate. That's what I'm calling for. And of course, rewarding people to exercise, workout, train, volunteer. And of course, with the food, housing, and transport secure, those three main essential elements, after we can upgrade by social credit system, if you will, rewarding people who work out, train, exercise, or do art, or offer massages to other citizens. You know, I can looking for a volunteer to massage. I'd love to give physical pleasure and hygiene to my allies and armies. If I could do a few hours a day to just wash somebody in a tub, you goddamn well I do with goddamn good joy, hygiene, soap you up, feet, head, toe, water. Water's holy as is fire. Water is holy as is fire. Water is holy as is fire. Hygiene, soap. So doing the general integrated total body training system is required of all willingly living to join the Dragan Army. These are the rules. 93 minutes, that's an hour and a half, and 3 minutes are allocated. Let me have a sip of tea first. Ah, oh, feels good. 93 minutes are allocated for one to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hocks. That Trinity. Push-ups, hocks, squats, 100 for each. You got 93 minutes. A maximum of 13 repetitions per set is allowed. A minimum of 3. These two numbers go together. Keep them in mind. 13 and 3, 13 and 3, 13 and 3. Right? Or anywhere in between. I've been doing sets of 10. 10 times 10 is an easy count. Gets you 1 to 100. You can do different every time until you get to 100. You're going to have to calculate, do some math. Simple math. Right? To get to 100, I'm looking for volunteers to build a Dragan training, workout, general war, integrated all body training system app. If anybody made it this far into this video without being way too superficial because the quality of the video, this is what I can afford for the moment. Although, and it's not about the aesthetics as much as it is, although I encourage people in hygiene and working out and doing art and love myself the rainbow colors. As it is about the philosophy, the will, the love, the hope I have for myself and for my allies and armies. So doing the general integrated body training system is a requirement. You can be an ally, a supporter, support the mission, the general mission of the Dragan Army to secure those three aforementioned and to attain world peace. The motto of the Dragan Army is nobody is born a dragon. It's fundamental essence, what it is that myself, not because of a surname, it's not that you have the same surname as me that you are a dragon. I was not born a dragon. I am becoming Dragon Zero, founder of the Dragan Army, through blood, sweat, and tears, and admitting some things that a lot of people do not. Struggles and pains and sufferings, whatever it is, whether sexuality, psychological, or depression or anxieties or addictions or prejudicial, right? Whatever the case may be, and moving forward so that we move and have a resolution, so that we break the impasses which faces not just locally, internationally, but and I've faced many trials and tribulations in this Western civilization, right? We had fought wars, First World War, Second World War, and it gives me goosebumps when I've started the General War Integrated Total Body Training System designed and made to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario, which predates COVID by 93 days and which resembles it. You and Einstein said, I don't know how the Third World War will be fought, but I know that the Fourth World War would be fought with sticks and stones. My brothers and sisters, we have ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles and satellites, and in a parallel life, science, innovation, and technology would have been a chosen path, and in that parallel life, growing up in Germany, moving migrating to Israel, and working on NATO joint Israel defense capability forces as a scientist, innovator, and master of technology. In that parallel life, designed satellites capable of countering the North Korean threat of the missiles. In this life, spirituality, psychology, physicality, sexuality, art, irrational will, subconscious is my chosen path. I know a little bit of science. Maybe I'm by Halloween I'm gonna converge those two. I'm gonna work for world peace, international justice, and global freedom by the skills that I know. But they gotta work together. The irrational, the subconscious, the emotions, the feelings. Which sometimes I've dealt myself with low feelings and emotions and jealousy and resentment and bitterness. Right? But there's an impasse, and slowly and paradoxically during this COVID, as I'm living the worst financial crisis of my life, I'm living in the fittest. I'm getting in the fittest by working out, training, exercising regularly, which has been, is, and will be medicine and therapy for your student. I'm calling for the multimillionaires, patriarchal in the sports leagues, not just the athletes who gain millions of dollars in the NFL, National Football League, NBA, National Basketball Association, NHL, National Hockey League, MLB, and the others, but also the owners, right? Especially the youth, the youth. Mass violence, the youth, precarious youth, to channel their aggressions, right? To channel it, because in itself, force is not evil or negative or bad, just like fire. It's how we channel it and understanding, right? All right, how we channel it and understanding it, right? I, I take you another example. I get pissed off yesterday night. I watch news, global news, 10 o'clock. I was feeling a little bit sick, and I watched the news. I watch the news at 10 o'clock. I think it's 9:30, but I watch it after 10, usually 10 or 11 or close to midnight. Global news, it's 22-minute summary of the news, local, national, Canadian news from a Canadian perspective. I'm Canadian, world, a rainbow dragon citizen, but from a Canadian perspective. And I get pissed off and angry. I said, did they have to read that? I watch politicians and others, and I'm not gonna name because I don't criticize without offering alternative solutions. And sometimes we criticize others, and we really want to do those things. You get people who rally, say, "Oh, homosexuality, bisexuality, lesbianism, gay is a sin, blah blah blah," and they secretly lust for it, right? Or they call that a sin. It's not a sin. Hygiene is important. Hygiene is important. To my brothers and sisters who are LGBTQ, I wish you the best pleasure in mind, body, and spirit, sexual pleasure. And of course, I am for education of the body is a temple for pleasure and for purpose. And for hygiene, I love to get dirty too. But I get back clean. Staying dirty gets bacteria, germs, microbes, right? So we get dirty but get back clean, royal, regal, lofty. I'm not perfect. I got vices, I got issues, I'm not perfect. I got ideas, theories, propositions. I'm an independent artist, activist, athlete, world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. Fundamentally, world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. Fundamentally, besides the founder of the Dancing Goddess Dragon Empire, a philosopher and a universal spiritual teaching student and a poet and a writer and an independent fitness captain and world LGBTQ citizens. Fundamentally, I'm the world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet and a constellation. But also, I realize how fucking useless I can fucking be. Although I said in my past videos that do not have any experience in farming, which is not entirely true. Do have experience a few years. I've participated in urban farming, so in this life, because in other lives I was a farmer by the Danube, by the Nile, by the Euphrates, in many a past lives by the ancient Egyptian. Enough is to bring me joy, to bring the priestesses of the goddess, G-O-D-D-E-S-S. Yes, I said that 7 holy letters without stress. Goddess. When they say God, I also say and the goddess. Oh, yes, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. G-O-D-D-E-S-S. Not an easy word for many to utter, goddess. It's still, but I say it. Dancing goddess in the Dragon Empire, one empire under the sun and the stars on earth. And the dancing goddess dances with the brother the sun. To make and create and produce all fruits, vegetables, and legumes as the sun set here. In Hawk Island, Montreal, the sun is rising over Japan, Korea, North and South, China, Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Laos, Nepal, Singapore, Indonesia. It's rising over there. And creates fruits, vegetables, and legumes to feed the workers, the ones who build, maintain civilization, and perhaps, hopefully, some adolescents, some youth somewhere get together and eat something and make love with the kiss and hug from that energy that is from those fruits or the dancing goddess in the Dragon Empire, and from those fruits in my name. If I die tonight, maybe I got vaccinated twice. I'm willing to get the third. I don't know. It's sore throat. I'm coughing a bit. No, runny nose. I think it's a flu. It is the symptoms of COVID. I got my COVID pass. But with the Delta variant, I don't know. With the Delta variant, maybe the effectiveness with the mutations variables, I could catch a variant, the mutate. I could carry mutating in me, right? It could transforming, mutating in me, and maybe I die tonight. Not tonight. It gets worse, and I die. And the sun is about to enter in Scorpio Friday night to Saturday during the Sabbath, or maybe on Halloween day. I don't know. But if I do, to my anonymous friend, oftentimes teacher, the one I love and call sister, to that trinity of sister, friend, teacher. It's the fourth dimension of being my one and only financial sponsor. You know who you are because I'm in the process of writing the official, I should nominate as the general officer, commandant of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, especially of the information, culture, and education and communication. Basically leaving toward the continuity of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon and Phoenix People's Party's mission for attaining world peace, international justice, and global freedom. By the Trinity, Phoenix, Dragon, and Goddess, Dancing Goddess. So back to, I get upset, I get angry, I get moody. I'm not perfect, I admit. You know, I have desire for physical pleasure, sexuality, strong components, and sexuality and sensuality is a strong component, but I just like somebody tried to sexual blackmail me before COVID and said they got a video. It's possible, like in that parallel life, science, innovation, and technology being my chosen path, computers, satellites, ICBM rockets, and all things high tech gadget, maybe like the NSO's Pegasus. I would have been part of making it. I said, but I don't know what you got because I'm androgynous. I got a little clito dick. Digo, caco, clico, clico, lico, lico, little clico. It grows a bit. My little scar. Got an androgynous scar. PUSSSY scar on it. My little androgynous little scar. It grows a little bit sometimes, you know. I'm pansexual, so I'm attracted romantically, sexually, physically to both men and women. And what do you? I mean, you know, the leaders of the free world, they go in suits, they read off the paper, and blah, blah, blah. They can do that. They can. You know, I understand it's important not to have to blackmail somebody because you blackmail and he's in a position of power, and then you have something against him. You know, you concoct all sorts of things. You know? My message is clear. My allies and armies, if I can do you some service, whatever it is, kisses from the goddess starlit heaven, which kisses, sends one kiss to the goddess, the sister, her sister who dances with the bird of the sun, and that kiss turns into 93 trillions of kisses, 93 trillions of kisses, 718 billion, 156,418,000 kisses, crediting me, goddess of heavens, who kisses her sister, the goddess, who dances with the bird of the sun, and that kiss turns into 93, more than 93 trillion kisses. Well, my allies and armies. I want to kill my ally and army. I want to get kissed 1,000, 1,000,000. Here, credit you, make you a millionaire in kisses. Adrian Dragan makes my allies and armies millionaires in kisses. There you go. Claim my Mount Royal. Jar better be hard at it. Yes or no? No, maybe. As I declare revolution for world peace, international justice, global freedom. So in that parallel life, I would have been able to hack and do, you know, people's secrets, you know, whatever it is, you know, porn. Yeah, I try to blackmail, get an email. I see you, and we were able to activate the camera. It's possible, in theory, all LL by-way, two-way receiver transmitter communications in theory can be intercepted by a third party, in theory, whether audio or visual. It requires skills, knowledge, and wisdom, understanding, of course, but nonetheless, it can be. It can be, right? In a parallel life, I would have known how to do that, how whatever, X, Y, Z. This life, spirituality, art, psychology, my main path, not science, innovation, and technology. Creativity, dance, art, the irrational, the emotional, coupled in that parallel life with the logic, the mathematical, and the rational, which dominated in that parallel life, which do dominate in that parallel life, my Adrian Dragon, Adrian H, Dragonborn. So I said, well, listen, well, let's do it. So, listen, I don't know what you're trying to blackmail me for. I mean, first and foremost, I do not have any money. And second, I don't hide my sexuality, I don't hide my vices. To my allies and armies, I'm about free love. If I can do you X, Y, Z services, wash you, massage you, kiss you, rub you, to my allies and armies, I'm more than willing to bring you pleasure. My joy will be to see your joy. I can do wash your heads, wash your hands, wash your feet, kiss you wherever you want, X, Y, Z. No, of course, X, Y, Z with standards. I got some standards, hygiene, and X, Y, Z, or X, Y, Z for art and for world peace, you know. That's negotiable, negotiation. But reminds me of a situation where something about golden showers and Donald Trump. And of course, I'm nothing against him personally. I'm still challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-US border. In matter of fact, still calling Kanye yay to sing. Dragon's fists will make Trump's nose grow like Pinocchio. Yo, bro, yo, therefore world peace, do ho. Right, and I'm calling on Ye to marry yours truly in an open BDSM switch relationship for world peace. We'll do a lot of art together, you know. And that is my call. Against Donald Trump personally, I've opposed his policies. I think the US-China trade war was a mistake. Believe that Granddaddy Trump literally can be my grandfather, 40 years difference. Paradoxical of his election, will not go into. That requires a big cup of tea and coffee and analytical philosophical analysis of which yours truly as an American twice in past life do understand that's to some degree more or less the election of Donald Trump did not support, and of course during the election I was a supporter of Bernie Sanders myself when the 2016 election occurred. However, I think the policies were a mistake. I think that Trump had an antiquated view of China and viewed many viewed China solely through the lens of a one-party communist state, which of course China has since 1984-89 been able to maintain the one-party communist system with the many reforms. But I think many of us fail to understand their social philosophy, which is called communism with Chinese characteristics, and not only communism with Chinese characteristics, but also spiritual socialism, as they're calling Deng Xiaoping's and Xi Jinping's, the current leader of China's own thoughts and the thoughts of the leaders of China, from Mao Zedong thought to Xi Jinping, Deng Xiaoping, and currently Xi Jinping thought, right? And formulations of communism with Chinese characteristics and spiritual, socialist, spiritual civilization. These words are important. Social, spiritual civilizations, spiritual, socialist civilizations, which are incorporated in the constitution and of China, and the ideology of the state of the Communist Party of China, Chinese communism with Chinese characteristics, and spiritual socialist civilization, of which I'm not going to go into. But I think that Granddaddy Trump had an antiquated view of China, seeing China through the 1960s, 1970s, early 80s lens, and of course, whether we like it or not, whether some like it or not, since 1989, China have built mega metropolises and cities, the biggest urbanization in history, with mega skyscrapers, and their civilization has made advancement, and now even supposedly from what we read, even in a hypersonic weapon development and in space and in supercomputers and computers, and has made a giant leap forward. I was against the US-China trade war. I think there was alternative solutions. I'm not a communist, of course. I'm not a fascist. I'm a universal revolutionary centrist. I believe different civilizations, such as Western civilization, Sino-Western civilization, Sino-civilization, is a civilization which we can work together for global civilization as embodied in my universal revolutionary centrism and democratic fusion. I was, am, and still am calling for the reestablishment of cordial, peaceful, mutually beneficial relations with China. Might be too hopeful, might be, call me maybe a dreamer too much. I am a semi-utopian since my youth, and I'm a semi-utopian dreamer in many ways, I admit it. Not but without fault or scrutinizing or analyzing different impulses and tendencies within my own character, which are of a lower, baser nature, of resentment and jealousy and anger, without completely analyzing or without seeing things sometimes in black and white, and whether we see that there's a lot of great or out of the box solutions. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. But I am the world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet with vices and flaws and emotions, which I've been through suicidal tendencies and, self-harm, depression. Not it hid my bisexuality for many years, extending, of course. But whether to criticize or XYZ, if not proposing alternative solutions or breaking the impasse, I think it's sometimes meaningless, or the effort will go, the energies will go in vain, and I'm guilty of perhaps getting in other things that do not concern me, or perhaps I know nothing about. But anyways, before digressions, I'm gonna go back into the discussion about something that was in the news. Like I said, I'm of course still challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-US border, and of course did not support his policies. Think that the US-China trade war began in 2018, which of course, keep in mind, was one of the premises for which yours truly has created the general war integrated total body training system to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, which in a nearly paradoxical providential way resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crises and predates it by about 93 days. 2019, October 17 was the first time, the first general war integrated total body training system which yours truly has performed 213 sessions so far in my underground room office and temple, and now the coming days, weeks, and months ahead until about December 3rd or maybe even December 25th, if temperature and there's not too much snow allows it for me to continue doing it on the streets, the concrete jungle, where I've designated a few Dragon gyms, and of course roundabout Hawk Island, Montreal, and roundabout in Mountain or roundabout the river, close to the river where I put rocks to work out, train, exercise with. Speaking of exercising, we're gonna get into this. So back to the Trump thing, I remember something in the news. There was something about golden shower that has some compromising situation about golden shower. As much as I was opposing his policies, and I said, this is so what? I mean, man's sexual proclivities or lusts or whatever it is, that's his own business to deal with and satisfy and on his terms and with consent, right? And this is consent. Sometimes it's hard to navigate, but I'm pretty sure that 12 different organizations or workplace or volunteering, which I did, I probably said or gestured things that were perhaps deemed offensive, inappropriate. I'm guilty perhaps of that. There you go, a little punishment. My allies, women or men, want to give me a little whip. I'm not a fucking dictator. Let you whip me a little bit. Tack, tack, tack. But when yours truly, Dragon Zero, gives a motherfucking order to the Dragon Army, motherfucker, you better motherfucking do it. Motherfucker, and I'll do it with you. No order will be giving but to secure food, housing, and transport, to work out, train, exercise, and for much loving. Dragon Zero. All orders given to the Dragon Army by Dragon Zero must be obeyed by the Dragon Army. Yeah. They don't admit a lot of things. It's hard. It's embarrassing. It's I struggle with this, with racism. I struggle with my own whatever it is. I struggle with my family's background. I struggle financially. I struggle psychologically. I struggle with addiction. I struggle with this. I struggle not having graduated high school. Not me. Although paradoxically, I have more memories from past lives and recent years of spending many years and struggling with XYZ financial precariousness and chronic illness, and almost the pestilences of the world came upon me. And although spent many times in the libraries of the city of the Montreal, has made them my second home with books and writing a lot, reading, self-educating, which I do on a daily basis. But nonetheless, I found in my room office in Temple, I did graduate from high school. I have a high school diploma, and from my many self-education, self-taught, I say I'm Dr. Dragan, the people's doctor, in many, many, many ways. And sometimes I do need some doctoring myself, as I use a goddamn good massage right now, which can't afford, and for which last month I was so pissed off and upset and angry that I cannot afford it. And that gigs came in slow, but it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to admit, to be honest about our feelings, inclinations, and experiences, or XYZ things we wrestle with in the night, we struggle with. Sometimes, whatever it is. But let's say somebody who's embarrassed, say, well, I haven't graduated high school, or I like this and that. I'm afraid of spiders. 6'6", gangster motherfucker. What you doing? What you doing, man? What's wrong with you? You okay? He's afraid of a little spider. You'll say how he gets the spider, gets it a kiss. What are the spiders? I don't see any now. I leave them be. They're welcoming my spaces. Well, 6'6", gangster rapper motherfucker from the deep south. Start screaming. Something like it. Oh, spider. Our hidden fears and our hidden lusts. Things if we let them grow crooked in the dark. I said, I bet you didn't put that when you went for the FBI or the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or the CIA, or the military Marines that you had homosexual incestuous relation with your brother, didn't you, motherfucker? I hope you left that part out, didn't you? It's all good. Got love for you, man. Well, peace. Love is action. Love is action. You got can use strength, force, and fire and aggression in itself. They're not. Right? Look at the NFL. Was watching yesterday with doing art dancing, working out, and watching NFL highlights. Only 3 months ago, Carl Nassib, first open gay player in the NFL. First one. He's not the only one. I can guarantee you that. He's not the only gay player in the NFL. As a matter of fact, I can state that on any given Sunday, whether on the offense, where there are 11 players, or on the defense, where there are 11 players, at least one of those 11 on each side is bisexual. I don't have a doubt. I don't have a doubt. You can argue or you can know that. You can say that I don't have a doubt, or that they experienced or had homosexual, bisexual feeling urges, or they're fighting or a struggle, or they had experienced homoerotic, homosexual love or sex or whatever it is. So back to the Trump. There was something in the news when he was president about golden showers or whatever. So, it was maybe we are all liars sometimes, eh? And I understand why a lot of people, for example, in the NFL don't come out like Carl Nassib did, and I can say that Carl Nassib is one of the freest and bravest motherfuckers on the field, motherfucker. Right? Home of the brave, land of the free. I'm saying this because I was an American twice in past lives, and those bad lives I was far from being free, and I wasn't that brave. Although in a certain circumstance, I was brave and I was free, taking a good decision, coming out in the open in 1863. As George Patton said, through a glass darkly, which, if you read a poem, George Patton, I'm referring to the American general who believed in reincarnation, and he believed he was a Parthian, he was a Roman, he was a Carthaginian in many past lives. So me and Patton, we shared the belief in reincarnation. I believe I was reincarnated many times. As a matter of fact, I have a bit more memories and visions of my past lives than I have of my early childhood, my adolescence, of my early youth, early adulthood. I remember all things in the many past years with my friend, my teacher, and the one I love and call sister, with that Trinity, sister, friend, teacher, as a fourth dimension, be my one and only financial sponsor. Of reading many books, writing thousands of pages of not just poetry and creative writing, and writing a lot of material, theoretical and analytical papers. I have some USB keys like this one here and there somewhere, and on papers, even handwritten a few 7 years ago, which now the general mission are embodied in. During this COVID, has had Adrian Dragan died during this COVID, as they're embodied in the general mission, vision, and philosophy of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Empire, which are one empire under the sun, under the stars, under the moon, on earth, for world peace, international justice, securing, ensuring global freedom, and attaining harmony between civilization and nature, by creating the two complementary cooperative covenant institutions of the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, and the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragon Army, which will secure food, housing, and transport. And after those three elements are secured, encourage and support people in order to work out, to train, to exercise, to dance, to get hygienic. And on the food, housing, and transport secured, we can work for the other goods, clothing, and hygienic products, and whatever else is needed and complementary, by a public-private partnership and the creation of the global central bank, by putting my theory into practice. Debt, DBT refusion, REFUSION, debt refusion theory, taking all private and public debt including my own, of about 10,000, with all public and private financial and banks and commercial institutions, and working together to create a number, whatever it is, the X's together with the Y's, the total debt, private and public, and with that number creating the initial global central bank by biometrics, the hand, the voice, and the eye are unique biometric identifiers, and in order to create, finance the two complementary covenant institutions, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragan Army, and complementary covenant cooperative institution with the International Integrated Dance League, integrating that will be in all gender, all ages, all sexual orientations inclusive, although there can be professional dancing and dancing of all genres. Twerking is allowed, and for world peace, you with her man, woman, trans, man, whatever, can twerk next to me for world peace, and I'll be twerk for world peace, for world peace, twerk for world peace. Love you, allies and armies. So creating the global central bank, channeling these energies which are risen in you of action and love, and the body. The philosophy being a temple for purpose and for pleasure, to volunteer, to work, to exercise, to train, to help others, to do, to discover it, to change it, XYZ, to enjoy it, to bring pleasure to others, to receive pleasures. And put a little bit more water. Again, thank you, sister, friend, teacher, to that Trinity, friend, teacher, sister, for Dimension being my one and only financial sponsor. Perhaps I'll get a second one by midnight, the first donation via PayPal, if not by tomorrow. Full moon, 3 full moon tomorrow is I think at 11 a.m. in Hakka, Montreal. By full moon, first and I'm putting some water now for the next copy, and I wanted to say, of course, on the finish, because I digress, they call Rainbow Dragon digressions. I was getting upset and emotional yesterday because I was seeing the news and I was seeing politicians, which can remain nameless, but you can see them for yourselves. You're all there reading from a paper. I mean, you got the issue at hand, you know what going on, dissect, discern, ask questions, wisdom, understanding, knowledge to some level. I don't know it all. I have more questions than answers about COVID. I don't know what caused COVID. I believe with snakes transmit to human beings. So I don't know for sure. Although I believe it was snakes who transmitted, cannot rule out another possibility. That Trinity not knowing, believing it was snakes, although cannot rule out possibilities such as a man-made virus, an accident in a lab, an experiment gone wrong, or a bioweapon. What do know 100% without a doubt is that before COVID, 93 days before COVID, had created, designed, and made a general war integrated whole body training system, made it designed to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario, which in a nearing providential paradoxical parallel way resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crises. And although my scenario was devastation, financial, social, economic, commercial, societal, it had the solution. And since July 24th, 2020, last year, in the midst of COVID, that's what I began advocating for, the creation of the Dragan Army, to secure food, housing, and transport, to integrate with all ALL public and private security forces and armed forces in order to secure food, housing, and transport, and encourage people to work out, train, volunteer, keep hygienic, and balance the public and the private domains of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, which I want empire, in a non-sectarian way, calling all willingly loving to join. The Dancing Goddess motto is all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made created by the dance of the goddess with the birth of the sun, which are harvested by my brothers and sisters, farmers, who harvest those fruits which are made by the dance, with the potatoes, grapes, which are my favorite fruit, or others, coffee beans, tea, such as this, for us to build, maintain, or upgrade civilization. Somebody perhaps built by that food today skyscrapers in Montreal, Hawk Island, or in Los Angeles, or in Berlin, or Tel Aviv, or in Tokyo. So I got upset yesterday. I was saying, well, I'm gonna put more tea. Why are they reading sentences off of a piece of paper and reading, and this is bad and this we gotta do, and again looking down, this is what the hell? I got upset, got emotional, and then I just said, well, listen, maybe it's best so they don't make mistakes for being, XYZ, for political reason, social media, you can attack. Keep my holy, sacred, and divine name out of your mouths. Adrian, I'm not Dragan, if it's not for a blessing. To my allies and armies, in my name, Adrian, I'm not Dragan. Blessed with healing, kisses from the goddess, joy, strength, push-ups, squats, hops, wisdom, understanding, knowledge, security, renewal, regeneration, and joy, joy, joy. Putting another tea. But anyways, got upset. Was very upset. I said upset. Because they were reading off a paper. So I got upset. Said, oh, why do they gotta read off a piece of paper? Can they memorize that or just say it how they feel or by their own knowledge, wisdom, and then they gotta read that? So I got a bit upset. A little more than I perhaps should have. But nonetheless, not perfect. Not without vices. Not without issues. I died during COVID, man. Being reborn. And I will for the rebirth and regeneration of all my allies and armies. For a better world, for the dancing goddess and the dragon emperor and the phoenix people's party are stand for the greater good. For the greater good. Let's do this. Gonna try to do. I mean, we're gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to just do. I'm not gonna count. I'm not gonna regiment. I'm just gonna do. And we're gonna do a little bit of reading. Gonna be eating some of these. I've been noticing that the prices are increasing, and of course, living in the worst financial crisis of my adult life with this COVID, with not a lot of gig work for me. My rent is paid. I got some food to survive until October 31st. My rent is paid until October 31st. Should be okay for my phone bill until October 31st as well. So paid those three, that Trinity phone bill, rent, and food, and even got some food for food security in case of emergency. Since I've seen that food prices are increasing across Canada, and I've noticed myself the increases, and I've also noticed something. For example, these crackers, right, expiry date February 5, 2022. That the box was 300 grams, and last month, I think it was 6 weeks ago, I've noticed that these crackers went from 300 grams per bag at the same price remained the same. But no, actually the price also increased by a quarter. It went from $1 to $1.25. So the price increased by a quarter. Not only that, but they were reduced from 300 grams to 275. I wonder how many noticed that. So 25 grams off of 300 is almost, well, percent. 300 divided by 10 is 30. So it's not 10% reduction, but it's about 7.5%. But added up, all that were in the store, let's say just on the shelves, they were, let's say 50 times 225 grams, right? That adds up. 10 times 25 is 250, and times 5, 2005. So that just on those shelves is 2.5 kilos less, right? So at the macro level, now whether, my other question to discern economics, commercial and finance would be whether on that level, on the ground there, in the respective country, which I'm not going to mention, I'm not going to give because I get no private or public sponsorship, whether the price occurred increasing there due to their harvest and their production costs going up. This is macroeconomic, and micro level factory micro, and macro import export is macroeconomics, and microeconomics is, of course, at the micro level is the factory, the consumer, myself, which I'm going to eat this, and the buyer, right, the consumer, and the store is the micro, and the owner, the micro, and the macro, the import export from one country to the other. What's exported, considered macro, and what's imported. So Canada, a company in Canada imported and a company, I'm not gonna say where, I'm just gonna say down south that way from a country, exported it. You can speculate. Let me know if you really want to know. I'll let you know. DM me, but or what? And my official volunteer representative Red Yell work will respond to comments mostly. Sometimes I do it myself, but I'm usually working 24/7, whether spiritual work, artistic work, or meditative, or physical work, or sometimes I rest as well. I need my rest. Now my official volunteer representative Ritzel work will instruct direct comment to you. So, but 25 grams for the macro level can be a lot. So if right just in that store, those reductions out of 50, it's 2.5 kilos. Right, it's already a few bags because you add them up, add, and with 12 bags you get the 13th pack. So for every 12 that they reduce 25 grams, they get the 13th, right? For every 12 that they reduce, 25 times 10 is 250, right? Plus if it was 300 grams, right? It was initially 300 grams. Actually, I just bought 1 month ago or so the last ones that were at 300 grams. I haven't seen any, but I seen that there were still some at 300, and the new ones at 275. So for every 12, there's the reduction of the price, right? There's the cost. So 275 is compared to 300 is 25 grams less. So 25 times 10 is 250, and 2 times 25 is 50. So that is 300. 250 plus 50 is 300. So for every 12 that they reduced, they get to sell a 13th one. So for every 12, so if there were 36, they are 3, right? So if there were 72, there were 6. So let's say there were 36. That means that 3, they're on the shelves. They made the profit for 3 more. But where did the cost increase? Was it in the middle? The shipping, the transportation, because it could have been in the middle, the shipping, the transportation, or was it on the ground at the factory where they produced it initially in another country from Canada, which I'm not going to name, and I'm not going to name the company. But nonetheless, they reduced it. So now the consumer cost, I'm paying. Living in the worst financial crisis of my life, I'm paying for it. I'm getting less. Still tasty though. But for every 12 that I buy, I lose 1. I lose 25 grams. I lose, well, no, not a pack, but there's 4 packs, 300 grams. So each pack, 300 divided by 4 is 75, right? 75 times 2, 150. Yeah. So 4 packs per bag. Yeah. So we're gonna do some reading now, reading from the news, and we're gonna work out my 77-minute holy, sacred, divine rant philosophy. Has ended. It was a warm up. Now for 93 minutes of work out the mind, body together in synergy. Mind, body, spirit. Workout, train for those HD, perhaps overly medicated, make them do push-ups, give children a challenge, put them some music, say, hey, can you dance? So, hey, do this push-ups and squats and exercise. Man, work out and train. Just gonna put a little bit of I'm gonna try the tea. It's a sweetened condenser, which I'm glad to have gotten from a donation box. It's so tasty. It's very thick. Mm, mm. Oh, so good. For coffee, tea, and desserts. Don't get any financial, private or public sponsors in a financial, economic, commercial way, except my friend, one I love and call sister, who's a teacher. Um, I leave the dancing goddess and the dragon emperor in the Phoenix people's party if anything happens to me. Seems that, well, my symptoms have been stabilizing, but I've gotten worse since last night. I started feeling them yesterday, so it could be getting worse. Oh, I see what it does. It turns kind of a whitish, turns kind of white, whitish texture for the tea. I don't know if I could show you, but anyways, it's like whitish. Mm. Mm. Sweetened condensed beverage whitener. Oh, because it's called a whitener for coffee, tea, and desserts. But it's not really white. It's a thick, kind of like yellowish beige. So let's go to some news. In the news, analysis: China self-inflicted slowdown test Beijing. From Reuters. Self-inflicted. I wonder how come they came to that conclusion. China's self-inflicted slowdown tests Beijing's reforms resolve. And of course, the big news. Now I have no investments, and I'm living the worst financial crisis of my life. But the eye of the dragon, the sun, got from the dancing goddess who dances with the brother, the sun, from the goddess of heaven, so gets that kiss to the little sister who dances with the brother, the sun, got credit of billions of push-ups, billions of squats, billions of hawks, and billions of marching steps and lifting weights. So I'm investing and have investing and will invest in the body. Let's invest with this 45-pound water bottle. What? Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's full, so it's full of water. So it's about wow. Whew. Wow. I feel it working with it. It's about close to 50 pounds, I would say. The way it's hold probably feels even more. Yeah. Well, self-inflicted. I guess that's a matter of opinion, but self-inflicted would mean. Question would be how come? But the big news was, of course, the People's Republic of China's bank, the Central Bank of China, banning the cryptocurrency. Now on cryptocurrency, like I said, I have no money to invest, but push-ups, squats, hawks, and marching steps, lifting rocks and all this water, which is holy like fire, to invest in the body. But nonetheless, I think nonetheless on cryptocurrencies they say that is because it's not really an asset backed by tangible financial or commercial or economic assets. It is mostly a speculative one, and that's why it's high risk to me. Although it is a speculative asset, I will credit it to say that it is backed by the mathematical, logical, and arithmetic, and the hardware with which the computers work to operate cryptocurrency, mainly used by the peer-to-peer and the decentralized manner, and the fundamentals which underline the operations and the basics of how a cryptocurrency works, which is guided by science and innovation and technology, both abstract, the software and the hardware. So although it is that, it's also coupled in parallel with that, and it's a speaking of, let's do a little bit of reading on cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency. Let's go to Wikipedia. What does Wikipedia have to say? Ready. Let's do a little tea. What does Wikipedia have to say? And let's eat a cracker for my brain to heal, and maybe this cracker, some of the elements, nutrients, and minerals in it will go to heal my brain, which was hit by a black sword a few years ago and made me lose a lot of memory from adulthood, childhood, and early childhood, but parallel in a providential paradoxical way triggered acquired savant syndrome, learning new skills and connecting with past lives, and perhaps my parallel self where science, innovation, and technology would have been my chosen path. Or maybe the dragon sword of freedom, which my friend oftentimes teaches, the one I love and call sister, will help me lift, will be black, will be white, and will be green and red and shades. The handle will be rainbow with black and white on both sides, and the handle will be rainbow. Yes, the handle rainbow, the edges black and white. White or black, it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't matter if I hold it like this, and black or white is on either side, right? A sword, hold it, and if this side is black and this side is white, or if this one is white or this one is black, or this one is white and this one is black, vice versa, it doesn't really matter, because from the other side you see it the other way around, which is mystery, right? Although the handle will be rainbow, and that is the sword, the dragon, black and white, and the rainbow handle. Two tiny hands, tiny feet, tiny little scar for me to lift it by my solo, perhaps. My friend, oftentimes teacher, the one I love and call sister, will help. Cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, or crypto, is collection of binary data which is designed to work as a medium of exchange, right? One that medium of exchange, like I'm advocating for the creation of the global central bank by biometrics. A medium of exchange can be in parallel with tangible medium of exchange to secure food, housing, and transport, and then to facilitate hygiene and the needs of the individual, whether it's in food or physical or whatever it is, to work out, to train, or to learn new skills, new language, or do dancing, or create art, paint, or create scripts, or create movies or scenarios, X, Y, Z. In economics, a medium of exchange is any item that is widely acceptable in exchange for goods and services. Well, my allies and armies for now can, in a medium of exchange, the 93 trillions of kisses, and the billions of push-ups, the billions of squats, the billions of hawks, the billions of marching steps, coupled, complementary, covenant, cooperative with it. Fire and the water. where individual coin ownership records and is stored in a ledger. A ledger is a book or collection of accounts in which account transactions are recorded. Each account has an opening or carry forward balance and would record transactions at either a debit or credit in spare columns and the ending or closing balance, which is a computerized database. In computing, a database is an organized collection of data stored and accessed electronically from a computer system. Where databases are more complex, they are often developed using formal design and modeling techniques. Let's do a little bit of database in this. Lift. Ha. Database using strong cryptography to secure transaction records. Strong cryptography or cryptographic ally. Strong are general terms applied to cryptographic systems or components that are considered highly resistant to cryptanalysis. To secure transaction records, to control the creation of additional coins, and to verify the transaction of coin ownership. Some crypto schemes are validators to maintain the cryptocurrency. In a proof of stake model, owners put up their tokens as collateral. In return, they get authority over the token in proportion to the amount they stake. Generally, these token stakers get additional ownership in the token over time via network fees, newly minted tokens, or other such reward mechanisms. Cryptocurrency does not exist in physical form like paper money and is typically not issued by a central authority. Cryptocurrencies typically use decentralized control. Decentralization is the process by which the activities of an organization, particularly those regarding planning and decision making, are distributed or delegated away from a central, authoritative location or group, as opposed to a central bank digital currency, which kind of, although I do advocate for a balance between decentralized and centralized, because sometimes, I mean, you need both to work together, although I'm not a fucking dictator or an authoritarian. Although I believe in securing world peace and international justice and attaining global freedom is by securing those three elements of civilization for all allies, citizens, supporters, subjects, the dancing goddess and the dragon empire. The three elements of civilization essential, and then after those three are met, we can encourage people to work out, to train, to volunteer, to learn, to do community work, and learn and integrate, and how to cross sectors, cross all sectors of civilization, to learn how all things are done. Recycling, for example, compost, water, filtration, water purification, solar, and energy. Here in Quebec, have Hydro Quebec, which I'm a big fan of, you know, offering to Hydro Quebec, Hydro Quebec, see the local Quebec, offering hugs, and go on to see how it works. The dams, blessed of the river, which is the veins of the goddess, the river. As opposed to a central bank digital currency. A central bank digital currency, CBDC, is a digital currency still in the conceptual or trial stage of development, issued or proposed to be issued by a central bank. A report by the Bank for International Settlement states that although the term central bank digital currency is not well defined, when a cryptocurrency is minted or created prior to issuance or issued by a single issuer, it is generally considered centralized. When implemented with decentralized control, each cryptocurrency works through distributed ledger. Distributed ledger is a consensus of replicated, shared, and synchronized digital data geographically spread across multiple sites, countries, or institutions. Unlike with a centralized database, there's no central administrator. Distributed ledger technology. So this is the technology. Typically a blockchain, and this is typically what it is for Bitcoin and others. A blockchain is a growing list of records called blocks that are linked together using cryptography. Each block contains a cryptographic hash of the previous block, a timestamp, and transaction data. The timestamp proves that the transaction data existed when the block was published. That serves as a public financial transaction database. So of course the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire's activities will be all public. Of course, I am willing, of course, to go online on live and direct most of the time. Dance to work out to massage to kiss my allies and armies. And to secure food, housing, and transport, or locally, national, international. To clean the environment, the mountains, the rivers, the lakes, the forests thereof. Of course, my hope is to we paint many gray buildings in many different colors, more lively in the cities, and transactionally rural and the urban together. Do the integration via volunteering and expeditions, and the public transaction, of course, of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon and the Phoenix digital central bank, the databases, public. Bitcoin, first released as open source software in 2009, is the first decentralized currency. Since the release of Bitcoin, many other cryptocurrencies have been created. After the creation of Bitcoin, the number of cryptocurrencies available over the internet is growing. A logo for Bitcoin, the first decentralized cryptocurrency. And history. And first, before we go to history, work out some more of these muscles. Exercise the muscle. Lifting this bottle of water. Almost 50 pounds. Oh. 1983, American cryptographer David Chaum conceived an anonymous cryptographic electronic money called eCash. Learning every day. See? David Chaum, I don't think, maybe in discussions he was. Maybe in discussions, Mr. David Chaum was named in the discussions around cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Mr. David Chaum was. However, it's a more for the brain healing and an interesting. David Chaum, Davidchaum. David Chaum is an American computer scientist and cryptographer. He is known as a pioneer in cryptography and privacy preserving technologies and widely recognized as the inventor of digital cash. Digital currency is any currency, money, or money like asset that is primarily managed, stored, or exchanged on digital computer systems, especially over the internet. Types of digital currencies include cryptocurrency, virtual currency, and central bank digital currency. His 1982 dissertation, Computer Systems Established, Maintained, and Trusted by Mutually Suspicious Groups. I love that. Read it again. I gotta read the dissertation. Computer systems established, maintained, and trusted by mutually suspicious groups. His 1982 dissertation, Computer Systems Established, Maintained, and Trusted by Mutually Suspicious Groups, is the first known proposal for a blockchain protocol. Blockchain is a growing list of records called blocks that are linked together using cryptography. Each block contains a cryptographic hash of the previous block, a timestamp, and transaction data. The timestamp proves that the transaction data existed when the block was published. Complete with the code to implement the protocol. Chom's dissertation proposed all but one element of the blockchain later detailed in the Bitcoin wallet. Wow, wow. See, now I'm learning even more. I mean, I knew a little bit of general, but specific. So, complete with a code to implement the protocol. Chom's dissertation proposed all but one element of the blockchain later detailed in the Bitcoin white paper. Complete with the code to implement the protocol. Chom's dissertation proposed all but one element of the blockchain, later detailed in the Bitcoin wallpaper. White paper it's called. Chom's dissertation proposed, the one that I just said, I read the title, his 1982 dissertation, computer systems established, maintained, and trusted by mutually suspicious groups. Mutually suspicious groups. It's also known for developing eCash, an electronic cash application that aims to preserve a user's anonymity, and inventing many cryptographic protocols like the blind signature. In cryptography, a blind signature is introduced by David Chom as a form of digital signature in which the content of a message is disguised, blinded before it is signed. The resulting blind signature can be publicly verified against the original unblinded message in a manner. Mixed networks. Mixed networks are routing protocols that create hard-to-trace communications by using a chain of proxy servers, known as mixes, which take in messages from multiple senders, shuffle them, and send them back out in random order to the next destination. And the dining cryptographers. In cryptography, the dining cryptographer's problem studies how to perform a secure multi-party computation of the Boolean or function. David Chom first proposed this problem in the early 1980s and used it as an illustrative example to show that it was possible to send anonymous messages. The dining cryptographer's protocol. In 1995, this company, DigiCash, created the first digital currency with eCash. DigiCash Inc. was an electronic money corporation founded by David Chum in 1989. DigiCash transactions were unique in that they were anonymous due to a number of cryptographic protocols developed by its founder. DigiCash declared bankruptcy in 1989 and subsequently sold its assets. When DigiCash created the first digital currency with eCash, his 1981 paper, Untraceable Electronic Mail, Return Addresses, and Digital Pseudonyms, laid the groundwork for the field of anonymous communications research. David Chum, University of California, Berkeley. Inventor, cryptographer. Cryptography or cryptology is the practice and study of techniques for secure communication in the presence of adversarial behavior. More generally, cryptography is about constructing and analyzing protocols that prevent third parties or the public from reading private messages. Inventor. Invention is a unique or novel device, method, composition, or process. Perhaps in the inventing of the greatest dance. Paradoxically, in a providential parallel way. The invention process is a process within an overall engineering and product development process. It may be an improvement upon the machine or product over a new process or creating an object or a result. Known for DigiCash. eCash. eCash was conceived by David Chum as an anonymous cryptographic electronic money or electronic cash system. International Association for Cryptologic Research. Mixes. Mixed networks. Voting systems. An electoral system or voting system is a set of rules that determine how elections and referendums are conducted and how their results are determined. Political electoral systems are organized by governments, while non-political elections may take place in business. Dining cryptographer protocol. In cryptography, the dining cryptographer's problem studies how to perform a secure multi-party computation of the Boolean or function. David Chaum first proposed this problem in the early 1980s and used it as an illustrated example to show that it was possible to send anonymous messages. Privacy enhancing technology, PET, are technologies that embody fundamental data protection in principles by minimizing personal data use, maximizing data security, and empowering individuals. PET allow online users to protect the privacy of their personally identifiable information. Thesis: computer systems established, maintained, and trusted by mutually suspicious groups. Mutually suspicious groups. Liquid suspicion, and it's part of us, or irrational, which is part of us, irrational, subconscious, and be emotive. Have to be. Sometimes we're suspicious, right? Let's do some more workout. Ah. More workout. Ah. He is also known for developing. We read that, and uh, pardon, my bad. Chom's 1982 Berkeley dissertation proposed every element of the blockchain found in Bitcoin except proof of work, which of course proof of work (POW) is a form of cryptographic zero knowledge proof in which one party proves to others that a certain amount of a specific computational effort has been expended. And this could be applied to of course, the volunteering, the community work from the Dancing Goddess and the Dragan Empire to our allies and citizens and supporters, and to encourage people and socially reward them thereof and encourage. It could be a social credit system, which is, of course, to people to work out, to train, to exercise, to do the general war integrated total body training system, which, of course, anybody willingly living join the Dragon Army must be able to do. Otherwise, you can be supporter, ally, no subject. These are the rules. You got 93 minutes are allocated. That is 1 hour and a half plus 3 minutes. 93 minutes to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks. That Trinity push-ups, hawks, squats, 100 for each. A maximum 13 repetitions per set. Minimum of 3 anywhere in between. Keep in mind 13 and 3 they go together. You can do 7, 10, 9, whatever the number is in between until you get to 100. And there's, once you start the countdown, the 93 minutes, there's no pause, no stop. You march, you jog, you walk fast pace, or you run till you do them. And in between each set, whether you do 13 repetitions max in whatever order you do, whether squats, push-ups, hawks, or push-ups, squats, hawks, or hawks, squats, push-up, 13 max reps per set allowed, 3 minimum, or anywhere in between. You gotta march, jog, run, walk fast pace, a minimum of 31 seconds in between each set. So if you do 13 max, you gotta, once you do, let's say you do 13 hawks, you gotta march, jog, run, walk fast pace, a minimum of 31 seconds until your next set. Whether you do squats or push-ups, whether you do 13 max or 3 minimum, or anywhere in between 7, 6, or 10, as I've been doing regularly. 10 times 10 is an easy count. Me, it takes about an hour to complete. Went as low as 37 minutes and 49 seconds, almost 38, almost 38, almost 38 minutes as low, and as high as about 77. So I've always completed below 80 minutes. 93 minutes are allocated. You can go, of course, do differently every time. It's not overly regimented. You can do it differently every time. And good luck. Do it. Proof. Official volunteer representative Retziala Yelwork will direct, instruct, and comment whatever needs to be commented, or directed, or instructed thereof. David Chom. David Chom is Jewish, was born to a Jewish family in Los Angeles. We're not into the personal life. Anonymous communication, trustworthy, near eye display. A near eye display patent application authored by David Chom has been updated. Pers- Perspective up. All styles of eyeglasses can be upgraded to overlay anywhere you can see through them digital imagery that is of unbeatable quality. Invented and founded and led an effort that has demonstrated feasibility of a new paradigm for delivering light that digitally deconstructs images so that they can be reconstructed on the retina with dynamic focus and exquisite clarity. Wow. Note 42. 42, note 42, note 42. Inviting David Chum to my humble underground room off Sun Temple for a cup of coffee, which I'm glad that was able to afford buying it on special. About buying it on special last week, more than half price. Two big ones of £2 each. One is 175 grams and the other is 930. So one's £2, the other is almost £2. Bought two, as I said, I had a little bit of money to spend. Almost 38, I think I had. Now I have less because I spent on the coffee. To last me, this coffee should last me for about 3 months. So October, November, December, January, maybe up to February. And have a cup of coffee, two different sorts, actually three different sorts. And that's my weekend Sabbath coffee. So I have a little bit of that. If not, one of this dark roast. If not, a medium gold. So either or, a cup of coffee and maybe some crackers or maybe even a sandwich, but the coffee for sure. Invite David Chom to, where we'll ask 1,000 billion gazillion questions on all that I've read about him on the Wikipedia pages. In 1979, Chom proposed the mechanism for splitting a key into partial keys, predecessors to secret sharing. Secret sharing refers to methods for distributing a secret among a group of participants, each of whom is allocated a share of the secret. And a secret can be reconstructed only when a sufficient number or possibly different types of share are combined. Wow. This is the last thing we're gonna read. In 1988, Chom with Gilles Brassard was in Montreal, Mark Island, my island city, and Claude Crepeau, professor in the School of Computer Science at McGill University. So all these three, I'm inviting them since I'm bilingual, can ask them a billion questions. And Claude Crepeau, professor, school School of Computing Science at McGill University. He was born in Montreal, Quebec in 1962. Received a master's degree from the Université de Montréal 86, then his PhD in computer science from MIT. And introduced zero knowledge arguments. In cryptography, a zero knowledge proof or zero knowledge protocol is a method by which one party can prove to another party that a given statement is true without conveying any information apart from the fact that the statement is indeed true. Wow, the essence of zero knowledge proofs. Was a security model using information theoretic private channel, as well as a security model using information theoretic private channels, as well as a security model using information theoretic private channels, and also first formalized the concept of a commitment scheme. A commitment scheme is a cryptographic primitive that allows one to commit to a chosen value while keeping it hidden to others, with the ability to reveal the committed value later. Commitment schemes are designed so that a party cannot change the value or statement that they have committed. David Sherman will be back to you. Wow, learn today. Another great scientist, which is not that well known, and it was a bit partially related to what we just read, of course, is Ben Goertzel. AI, artificial intelligence, CEO and founder of Singularity.net. Artificial general intelligence. Ben Goertzel. So back to D. I'm just gonna work out some more. Back to cryptocurrency. First, work out the body, the muscles, physic, and then the brain again. And with the spiritual meditations, the tea drinking, starlit, heaven above. Now we're gonna do another one of these for the brain and the body. So the history of cryptocurrency. We jump from 1983 with David Chomp to 1996, 13 years. Depending on the month, it could be 12 years, right? 1996, the National Security Agency. And you'll have to excuse me, gotta go pee. Nature calls. We'll be back. Wow. Work out a little bit more. Take this water. Oh, wow. Oh, I feel it. Oh, whew, feel it. Continue. Brain, mind, spirit. In 1996, the security agency published a paper called the National Security Agency, NSA, is a national level intelligence agency of the United States Department of Defense, under the authority of the Director of National Intelligence, DNI, Director of National Intelligence. The NSA is responsible for global GLOBAL, global monitoring, collection, and processing of information. Published a paper entitled How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash, describing a cryptocurrency system, first publishing it in an MIT mailing list. Interesting. And later in 1997, the American Law Review. Let's read a bit about the NSA. Cool building. In a parallel life, science, innovation, and technology would have been a chosen path where grew up in Germany, migrated to Israel, and worked for counterterrorism and other measures with NATO countries, Canada, US, Germany, Israel, and NATO alliance with Israel. Measures in order to a lot of security and defense, and developed in that parallel life cool gadgets, rocket theory, and computer programs and satellites. The National Security Agency, NSA, is a national level intelligence agency of the United States Department of Defense, DoD, under the authority of the Director of National Intelligence, DNI. The NSA is responsible for global monitoring, collection and processing of information and data for foreign and domestic intelligence and counterintelligence purposes, specializing in a discipline known as signals intelligence. SIGINT. Signals intelligence is the intelligence gathering by interception of signals, whether communications between people or from electronic signals not directly used in communication. Signals intelligence is a subset of intelligence collection management. SIGINT. The NSA is also tasked with the protection of US communications networks and information systems. An information system (IS) is a formal socio-technical organizational system designed to collect, process, store, and distribute information. From a social technical perspective, information systems are composed by four components: task, people, structure, and technology information. The NSA relies on a variety of measures to accomplish this mission, the majority of which are clandestine. Clandestine operation is an intelligence or military operation carried out in such a way that the operation goes unnoticed by the general population of specific enemy. The existence of the NSA was not revealed until 1975. Originating as a unit to decipher coded communications in World War II, it was officially formed as the NSA by President Harry S. Truman, 1952. Between then and the end of Cold War, it became the largest of the U.S. intelligence operations in terms of personnel and budget, but information available as of 2013 indicates that the CIA pulled ahead in this regard. With a budget of 14.7 billion. The NSA currently conducts very small written, I'm gonna make it bigger. The NSA currently conducts worldwide mass data collection. Wow, worldwide mass data collection. Worldwide mass data collection. Just ask NSA. Invite you to the dancing goddess and the dragon army to work together to secure food, housing, and transport. Encourage people to work out, train, exercise, volunteer, dance, the community work, love, 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 LOV. Secure and ensure freedom. Mass surveillance is the intricate surveillance of an entire or a substantial fraction of a population in order to monitor that group of citizens. The surveillance is often carried out by local and federal governments or governmental organizations such as the organization like NSA and FBI, and has been known to physically bug, bug, electronic systems is one method to this end. A covert listening device, more commonly known as a bug or a wire, is usually a combination of a miniature radio transmitter with a microphone. The use of bugs, called bugging or wiretapping, is a common technique in surveillance, espionage, and police investigations. Dragan Zero, General Founding Captain of the Dragan Army, yours fully for world peace, calling all willingly loving yours truly, Adrian Hana Dragan. Got none to hide. One thing I know, I don't want to go back to pre-COVID. Adrian H. Dragan isn't being reborn, and I just keep moving forward, breaking the impasse with a financial, physical, emotional, irrational, scientific, to secure and ensure freedom, local, national, international, and some joy in a new world order of world peace, international justice with secure global freedom and attaining harmony between civilization and nature, and creative ideas and solutions to break impasses, counterbalance understanding and love and action. Love is action with strength and security. Bug electronic systems is one method to this end. Bug, B-U-G, covert listening device, bug or wire. The NSA is also alleged to have been behind such attack. Software Stuxnet. Which severely damaged Iran's nuclear program. The NSA, along the Central Intelligence Agency, maintains a physical presence in many countries around the globe. The CIA-NSA Joint Special Collection Service. The Special Collection Service is a highly classified joint, codename F6. It's a highly classified joint U.S. Central Intelligence Agency National Security Agency program charged with inserting eavesdropping equipment in difficult-to-reach places, such as foreign embassies, communication centers, and foreign A highly classified intelligence team. Reminds me of a story of you get the highest, most classified intelligence teams, the brains of the Mossad, of the CSIS, CSIS, and the NSA, CIA together, the German intelligence services get together. They want to secure something, they want to find something out, they get together on this point, they start screaming, and the guys and their director comes in. What are you guys screaming, panicking about? You guys are the most trained um, brains in telecommunications, satellites, and espionage, and bugging, and communications networks, and covert clandestine operations, and close surveillance, and wiretapping. And what are you guys screaming? I hear screaming. What's the matter? A ghost! A ghost! A ghost! So the NSA maintains a physical presence in many countries across the globe. CINSA Joint Special Collection Service, highly classified intelligence team inserts, and gotta bring the parallel because I had a discussion with a member who has worked in the Secret Service and said, "Yo, you know, I worked last year. We had a discussion, and I think right after I healed from COVID, as I had COVID, my two vaccines, willing to get the third, and I was healing from COVID. This was very sickening. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. And then met somebody, had a few discussions. Says I worked for the Secret Service since 1984 till about 2019. And I said, well, you know, if I can come with a summary, a conclusion is that most people are goddamn liars. I mean, you get the Christian minister was fiery about sin is, and he's a closet homosexual or bisexual. I've went to, that was just one example. He gave me other examples of how we all put on masks or things that we hide, that we're embarrassed, or that we have secrets, or XYZ, or don't admit, or feel shame or guilt, or repress. And I've, my own experience, studied the emotional, the irrational part of psychological dimensions of myself, and through observation and analysis of others, and conclude to the nature of that experience, the pain and tribulation of great psychological transformation, right? And freedom is not easy. We have to secure it and ensure it. Makes me think of the Operation Enduring Freedom, right? Which lasted 13 years and then succeeded by Freedom Sentinel in the war on terror, specifically in Afghanistan after 20 years. I said we gotta add a Trinity to that duo. Freedom's Enduring Freedom, which began in 2001, and then Freedom Sentinel 2013, and which ended just recently in August 2021, 20 years after. And we need a third freedom, and it's gonna be ensuring freedom by the Dragan Army, securing freedom by the Dragan Army, joint transnational North American NATO led with Israel and all willingly living allies in the Americas and the Middle East, calling my Arab brothers to extend the hand of peace with Israel and Africa, east through west, north, south, a world of peace. Special Collection Services. SCS collection tactics allegedly encompass close surveillance, burglary, wiretapping, and breaking and entering. Unlike the CIA and the Defense Intelligence Agency, both of which specialize primarily in foreign human espionage. The NSA does not publicly conduct human source intelligence gathering. The NSA is entrusted with providing assistance to and the coordination of SIGINT elements for other government organizations, which are prevented by law from engaging in such activities on their own. As part of these responsibilities, the agency has a co-located organization called the Central Security Service. CSS, Central Security Service, is an agency of the United States Department of Defense which was established in 1972 to integrate the National Security Agency NSA and the Service Cryptologic Components SCC, the United States Armed Forces, which facilitates cooperation between the NSA and other U.S. defense cryptoanalyst components. Further ensures streamlined communication between the Signals Intelligence Community Division, the NSA Director, simultaneously serves as the commander of the United States Cyber Command and Chief of the Central Security Service. In 2013, the NSA had many of its secret surveillance programs revealed to the public. By Edward Snowden. A former NSA contractor. According to the leaked documents, the NSA intercepts and stores the communications of over 1 billion people worldwide, including United States citizens. The documents also reveal the NSA tracks hundreds of millions of people's movements using cell phones metadata. Metadata. Data that provides information about other data. Internationally, research has pointed to the NSA's ability to surveil the domestic internet traffic of foreign countries through boomerang routing. Formed officially November 4, month of Scorpio, 1952, 68 years ago. November 4, 1952, but not divulged, revealed. Existence of the NSA was not revealed until 1975. So it took 23 years, or 22 years and some months. More tea, some more water, and let's finish with the NSA. Let's do some more workout. Oh yeah. And I think that's about as much tea as we're able to get from these leaves. About almost 3 glasses. And let's add some of this whitener. This condensed, sweetened, condensed beverage whitener for coffee, tea, and desserts. Which is very tasty, but like very sweet also. Sweet and tasty. And what is that? So in 1996, NSA, National Security Agency, published a paper entitled How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash, describing a cryptocurrency system, first publishing it in an MIT mailing list, and later in 1997 in the American Law Review. In 1998, Wade published a description of B-money, characterized as an anonymous distributed electronic cash system. Wade, W-E-I, one, I'm guessing that's the first name, and D-A-I, the surname, I'm assuming. Wade, so it's 2 words. W-E-I, Y, and W, and D-A-I, Wade is a computer engineer known for contributions to cryptography and cryptocurrency. He developed the Crypto Plus cryptographic library, created the B-money cryptocurrency system, and co-proposed the WMAC message authentication algorithm in 1998. Published a description of B-money characterized as an anonymous distributed electronic cash system. Shortly thereafter, Nick Szabo described BitGold. Nick Szabo is a computer scientist, legal scholar, and cryptographer known for his research in digital contracts and digital currency. He graduated from the University of Washington in 1989 with a degree in computer science. Like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that would follow it, BitGold, not to be confused with the later gold-based exchange BitGold, was described as an electronic currency system which required users to complete a proof of work function. So the proof of work, POW, is a form of cryptographic zero-knowledge proof in which one party proves to others that a certain amount of a specific computational effort has been expended. Verifiers can subsequently confirm that this expenditure with minimal effort on their part, with solutions being cryptographically put together and published. In 2009, The first decentralized cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was created by presumably pseudonymous developer Satoshi Nakamoto. In 2009, the first decentralized cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was created by presumably pseudonymous developer Satoshi Nakamoto. In 2009, the first decentralized cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was created by presumably pseudonymous developer Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto is the name used by the presumed pseudonymous person or persons who developed Bitcoin, authored the Bitcoin white paper, and created and deployed Bitcoin's original reference implementation. It used SHA-225. SHA-2 is a set of cryptographic hash functions designed by the United States National Security Agency, NSA, and first published in 2001. SHA-257. SHA-2 is a set of cryptographic hash functions designed by the United States National Security Agency, NSA, and first published in 2001. SHA-2 is a set of cryptographic hash functions designed by the United States National Security Agencies and first published in 2001. They are built using the Merkle-Damgard construction from a one-way compression function itself built using the Davis-Meyer structure. It used SHA-225. Interesting that the NSA, designed by the NSA, United States National Security Agencies, a cryptographic hash function in its proof-of-work scheme. In April 2011, Namecoin was created as an attempt. Namecoin is a cryptocurrency originally forked from Bitcoin software. It is based on the code of Bitcoin and uses the same proof-of-work algorithm. Like Bitcoin, it is limited to 21 million coins. So 21 million coins, that's the set limit. Was created as an attempt at forming a decentralized DNS. Domain name system is a hierarchical and decentralized naming system for computers, services, or other resources connected to the internet or a private network. It associates various information with domain names assigned to each of the participating entities, which would make internet censorship very difficult. Soon after, in October 2011, Litcoin was released. Litcoin is a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency and open-source software project released under the MIT 11 license. Litcoin was an early Bitcoin spin-off, or altcoin, starting in October 2011. In technical details, Litcoin is identical to Bitcoin. It used script. In cryptography, script is a password-based key derivation function created by Colin Percival, originally for the Tarn-Snap online backup service. The algorithm was specifically designed to make it costly to perform large-scale custom hardware attacks by requiring large amounts of memory. It used script as its hash function instead of SHA-256. Another notable cryptocurrency, Peercoin. Peercoin, also known as PPCoin or PPC, is a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency utilizing both proof-of-stake and proof-of-work system. Used a proof-of-work, proof-of-stake. Proof-of-stake POS protocols are a class of consensus mechanisms for blockchains that work by selecting validators in proportion to their quantity of holdings in the associated cryptocurrency. Unlike a proof-of-work POW protocol, POS systems do not incentivize extreme amounts of energy consumption. POS, so it's a hybrid. On August 6, 2014, the UK announced its Treasury had commissioned a study of cryptocurrencies and what role, if any, they could play in the UK economy. The study was also to report on whether regulation should be considered. The final report was published in 2018, and it issued a consultation on crypto assets and stablecoins in January 2021. More workout. I feel good. A bit of. In June 2021, El Salvador. El Salvador, officially the Republic of El Salvador, is a country in Central America. It is bordered on the northeast by Honduras, on the northwest by Guatemala, and on the south by the Pacific Ocean. El Salvador's capital and largest city is San Salvador. The country population is estimated in 2021 is estimated to be 6.8 million people. In In June 2021, El Salvador became the first country to accept Bitcoin as legal tender. Legal tender is a form of money that courts of law require to recognize a satisfactory payment for any monetary debt. Each jurisdiction determines what is legal tender, but essentially it is anything which, when offered, is a payment of a debt, extinguishes the debt. Wow. After the Legislative Assembly. The Legislative Assembly is the legislative branch of the government of El Salvador. Had voted 62 to 22. Wow. That's almost 3 times. 3 to 1 almost. Almost. To pass a bill submitted by President Nayib Bukele. Nayib Bukele is a Salvadorian politician and businessman who is the 43rd and current president of El Salvador. He has served since June 1st, 2019 after winning the 2019 election. He ran as a candidate of the center-right Grand Alliance for National Unity. Born July 24th, 1981, Nayib Armando Bukele Ortiz. Wow. July 24th, 1981 is a Leo. Well, the beginning. Sometimes begin July 23rd, month of Leo. Scorpio begins, some say October 22nd, others October 23rd. I'm saying October 23rd as Leo begins July 23rd. In August 2021, Cuba. Let's work out some more. After this followed with Resolution 215 to accept Bitcoin as legal tender, which will circumvent US sanctions. Wow. Cuba's central bank now recognizes cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. Wow. Isn't that fascinating? Because Cuba is, with the controversies going on with Cuba, of course, with the biggest, just during the summer, biggest manifestations and biggest protests that occurred in Cuba since, I think, the 1980s or the early 1990s. So for in more than 25 years, the biggest. The Cuba, many had speculated that the Cuban communist regime would be overthrown. But 2021 Cuban protests. A series of protests against the Cuban government and the ruling Communist Party of Cuba began on 11th of July 2021, triggered by a shortage of food and medicine and the government's response to the resurgent meaning rising again. It's like it seems it's been doing now up and down, resurgent. COVID-19 pandemic in Cuba. The protests have been described as the largest anti-government demonstrations since the Namecoin in 1994. Protesters were disaffected by the government's strict authoritarianism. So 24/6 in more than 25 years, the biggest as the largest anti-government demonstration in more than 25 years, right? 94, more than 26 years. So they occurred July 11 to July 17, 2021. Let me see what's the temperature now. It's 8 degrees here, which in temperature is 25 Celsius in La Habana. High of 29 Celsius, low of 21. Economic dominated by the tourism industry and the exports of skilled labor, sugar, tobacco, and coffee. The Cuban coffee is very good. Usually find here when I find it on special. I usually buy a Cuban coffee, which is very very good for the price and the quality. Population 11.2 million in 2019. So let's say 11.3 maybe. A little bit over, not 11 and a half, but a little bit than 11 million. Cuba has one of the highest literacy rates in the world. 99 of every 100 Cubans are able to read and write. Isn't that amazing? 99 of every 100 Cubans are able to read and write. 99 of every 100 Cubans are able to read and write. Cuba eliminates quarantine for international travel November 7th. Amazing. So in August 2021, Cuba followed with resolution 2015 to allow Bitcoin as legal tender. Wow, do some workout. Wow. Ooh. In September 2021, the government of China, the single largest market for cryptocurrency, this is just last month, declared all all LL cryptocurrency transactions illegal, completing a crackdown on cryptocurrency that had previously banned the operation of intermediaries and miners within China. This is big news. In September 2021, barely a month ago, depending on the date, it could be a month ago, the government of China, the single largest market for cryptocurrency, declared all cryptocurrency transactions illegal, completing a crackdown on cryptocurrency that had previously banned the operation of intermediaries and miners within China. So this is big news regarding the cryptocurrency market and world and development. And September 24, 2021. So it could have happened the day before it got in the news in BBC News. British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC News. China declares all cryptocurrency transactions illegal. Illegal. BBC News, 24th of September 2021. Retrieved 24th of September 2021. Let's go with the article quickly. Wow. So almost a month ago. So September 24th of last month. China declares all cryptocurrency transactions illegal. China's central bank has announced that all transactions of cryptocurrencies are illegal, effectively banning digital tokens such as Bitcoin. Wow. Virtual currency related business activities are illegal financial activities, the People's Bank of China said. Wow. Warning, it seriously endangers the safety of people's assets. People's Bank of China, established December 1st, 1948. Rongo Renmingin Hang. I am still in the process of learning Chinese, Mandarin, gotta say, the main dialect, spoken Chinese dialect, the main Chinese, mainland China, and most people speak Mandarin. I'm still learning it. It's gotta say it's one of the hardest languages which I've tried and am trying and will try to learn for conversational, basic conversational level, tourism and exchanges and art and world peace advocacy. Headquarters Beijing and Shanghai, so both. Interesting that it has two quarters, two headquarters, Beijing and Shanghai. So People's Bank of China, established December 1st, 1948, 72 years ago. The People's Bank of China is the central bank, and the central bank is, of course, a central bank, reserve bank, or monetary authority is an institution that manages the currency and monetary policy of a state or formal monetary union and oversees their commercial banking system. In contrast to a commercial bank, a central bank possesses a monopoly on increasing the monetary. People's is the central bank of the People's Republic of China, responsible for carrying out monetary policy and regulation of financial institutions in mainland China, as determined by People's Bank Law and Commercial Bank Law, valued at 3.21 trillion in US dollars. The People's Bank of China has had the largest financial asset holdings of any central bank in the world since July 2017. This is important. The People's Bank of China has had the largest financial asset holdings of any central bank in the world since July 2000 and wow. Not billion, but trillion of any central bank in the world since July 2017. The People's Bank of China has had the largest financial asset holdings of any central bank in the world since July 2017. The People's Bank of China has had the largest financial asset holdings of any, so not even larger. The People's Bank of China even has larger financial assets than the Federal Reserve, which is the central bank of the United States of America, of German Deutschen Bank, of Japan, of Israel, whatever. Asset holdings of any central bank in the world since July 2017. So for more than 4 years, it has the largest financial asset holdings. Though possessing a high degree of independence by Chinese standards, it remains a cabinet-level executive department of the State Council. The State Council, constitutionally synonymous with the Central People's Government since 1954, is the chief administrative authority of the People's Republic of China. It is chaired by the Premier and includes the heads of each of the cabinet level executive. Renminbi, the yuan. Wow. With the exception of special allocations for rural development, the monolithic PBOC, which stands for People's Bank of China, dominated all business transactions and credit until 1978, when the slow reforms took place and Chinese communism with Chinese characteristics took place, and Xi Deng Xiaoping taught, and so it banned, declared illegal all. China is one of the world's largest cryptocurrency market. Well, I guess now what, it went underworld, underground, illegal. It was declared illegal, right? And it was one of the largest cryptocurrency markets. Fluctuations there often impact the global price of cryptocurrencies. The price of Bitcoin fell by more than $2,000 US in the wake of the Chinese announcement. It is the latest in China's national crackdown on what it sees as a volatile, speculative investment at best, and a way to launder money at worst. Trading cryptocurrency has officially been banned in China since 2019, but has continued online through foreign exchanges. However, there has been a significant crackdown this year. In September 2019, China accounted for 75% of the world's Bitcoin energy use. See some more in the news, but first, let's one more cracker for brain healing and adjusting, helping with the absorption of what we just learned, because I've learned some new things and I've read some about some new discoveries about Mr. David Chum, great computer scientist. And let's work out some more. Ready? Oh, oh, whoa. Heavy duty workout, working out and training the brain and spirit. It's meditation, working out and learning session event. Something more in the news. In the news. Only fully vaccinated people to be allowed in House of Commons precinct. The Canadian press. Wow, isn't that something? The Canadian side, of course, the SERB, supposedly the financial, commercial, economic aid packages known as SERB, Canada Emergency Benefit, Response Benefit, which for some has been more than what they made during the working, and some is ending October 23rd. Flight costs soar as Canadian travelers head back on planes. Problems with the supply chain. Amazon's new net zero carbon pledge is focused on the oceans as shipping giants pursue alternative fuels. Vaccination deadline for care home workers kicks in. The vaccination deadline for healthcare, personal care home, and other public service employees kicked in on Monday, but in Quebec there's an extension given until November 15th. Let's work out some more. Again, yours truly, Adrian H. Dragonborn. This has been a Adrian on a Dragon World Peace event with working out, meditation for the spirit, working out for the body with this more than 42 pounds big bottle of water. It holds 18 liters. If a liter is 2.2, right? A liter is 1 kilo. So plus plastic, it's a few pounds. We did some reading for the brain. We learned some new things about cool things, interesting things, things to meditate. And just adding one more event in yours truly, Adrian H. Dragon's rebirth is yours truly, Adrian Dragan, the androgynous and sexual founder of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire, which are one empire under the sun and the stars on earth, whose general missions are for world peace, international justice, and global freedom, ensuring global freedom by creating the two complementary cooperative covenant institutions, the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, in order to organize the mass dancing events across the world for the mass cleaning of the oceans, rivers, waterways, lakes, forests thereof, and of course for the body to organize dancing events for the recreational purposes and pleasure purposes, and for Mother Nature, the greatest artist, and in complementary covenant cooperative with the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragon Army. We created and infused, integrated with all ALL existing public and private institutions in order to secure the three elements of civilization for all: food, housing, and transport. Three essential elements of civilizations. Once those three are secured, we're going to be ready to, if COVID mutates, for the next pandemic, future generations, and securing and ensuring freedom, the balance and the harmony between the public sphere and the public domain and the private, which is, I'm sharing a lot of my private domain, my private sphere, which is right here, underground room, office, and temple. To that trinity of room, office, and temple has been added a fourth dimension of serving as a gymnasium in the past years, where I had lost more than 77 pounds. Working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will continue to be medicine and therapy for yours truly, as I do firmly believe that is so for many, and that we must work together with a public-private partnership in order to mass finance my brothers and sisters to work out, train, exercise, especially the youth who are more financially in difficulty. And I'm calling, of course, on the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, Major League Baseball, and European sports, soccer sport leagues, who have been blessed since 1984 to make millions of dollars average, along with the owners, and to donate to the formation. And they can also dance with the Dancing Goddess Army for attaining harmony between civilization and nature. First, the armies of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization member armies, and all private and public security forces within NATO, calling Israel to be the first, 31st in my Genesis 33 policy for integration across the sectors, and for a new world order of world peace, international justice, and global freedom, attaining harmony between civilization and nature. In my universal revolutionary centrism as embodied in the Phoenix People's Party, anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love, universal revolutionary centrist body to be based on the principles of democratic fusion. And yours truly, Hana Dragon's love to my allies and armies in my name, be blessed with love. I am thy servant, if can serve, of course, but when given orders, all orders given to the Dragon Army must be obeyed by the Dragon Army, given by yours truly, becoming Dragon Zero. Adrian H. Dragon died during COVID. So my friend, often thanks to each and one I love and call sister, ain't got much family, but if anybody else willingly loving to be my family, the children, the Dancing Goddess, and the Dragon Empire, I welcome you in my official volunteer representative, Red CLIO, work will direct, instruct, and consult. Adrian Dragon, Priestess of the Goddess, HN, H, Dragon Zero, out. Shh. Love you, love you, love you, love you.